Welcome to Citizens Forum Segment 2. I'm Warren Lokke, and today I have a guest, and his name is Mike Irvine, and we will be talking about his project, the Fisheye Project, as well as something else that he recently did, which created a little bit of media buzz. So thank you for being here, Mike.
Yeah, thank you very much, Warren.
Yes, so we'll just dive right into it, literally. You defended your thesis underwater?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically April 20th, I successfully defended my thesis live from underwater over a video conference and a simultaneous webcast. So basically, that was a lot of pressure to be able to do something like that. And the reason being for it was that I really wanted to showcase what the research has been about. It was the physical embodiment of the research.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the actual thesis about then?
So it was about using underwater web cameras, but live interactions with marine environments to engage students in digging in through inquiry-based learning of marine science topics. So to initiate questions, to basically see that unseen and spur a lot of different interaction. And
so you had like the whole setup with the mic and everything else that you were, I guess, constantly feeding back with somebody off-site, right?
Yeah, I had a full-face intercom mask. I had my main advisor on the surface, and I also had a committee at UVic, and my other advisor was in Alberta.
Oh, okay.
So we all came together in basically a video conference setup. And on the webcast side, I found out that we actually had 15 countries, people from 15 countries tune in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's had almost 8,000 views.
You know what? That to me, when I just think about that, because I had recently defended my thesis about a year and a half prior to you, and we were in grad school at the same time. But I didn't have thousands of people watching my defense. I had 8 people in my room, and that was it. Nobody cared about it outside of that room that I was in terms of my supervisor and a couple of friends from the audience and the committee that I had. Now, with respect to you, I remember I did a little bit of back-end research, and I saw that you had coverage from CBC, National Geographic, the Huffington Post, BuzzFeed. I saw a BuzzFeed article from all things.
BuzzFeed article?
I think so. Yeah, there was a BuzzFeed.
Cool. I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a BuzzFeed. So there was all sorts of these.
Discovery Channel was one of the big ones that reached out.
So just this huge amount of media pressure, and I can't. How were you thinking about that at all when you were defending?
Honestly, no. I think it's almost when you go diving, and there's something that's really awesome and amazing about diving that I like is it's how serene it is. So when you're underwater, it's just you. Granted, there was a camera there, but you're really put into a serene environment that's very calming and relaxing. You focus on your breathing. You're really more present than you are about what's going on the outside. And that's something I really loved about diving, and that's actually what helped me get through my thesis defense. I was not thinking about all of these other people that are out there watching. It wasn't about that. It was just, here I am presenting this information that's really important to me. It's what I believe in, and it's really important to also highlight and get people interested in looking at what's going on underwater. So that's basically all that was happening for me. I just was very much in the present space.
That is just truly amazing. So I'm also thinking about the logistics about all the planning and all the extra types of things to get done. Was there anything that stuck out in terms of any challenges specifically?
Challenges were convincing enough people that this was a good idea and to let me do it.
Oh, okay. There we go.
But then it was also working through a lot of the technical issues. We had no idea how to get two-way audio going to and from the diver by plugging it into the laptop.
Oh, okay.
So we had to figure out a whole adaptation system to basically have the audio coming over Skype or any different video conferencing platform that we played with to come directly down to the diver, but then so I could speak directly back up and through.
Wow.
So without anybody having to manage that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the first step, and it took us a while to figure that one out. But the other issues were also making sure we had the right underwater camera housing. We had to rebuild our entire system, basically our entire broadcast system at the end of November. So,
wow. What happened?
I flooded 3 underwater web cameras. We were using IP cameras,
and
then I just got away from that, went more towards hardware, and it made it a heck of a lot easier.
So how much money was that? Just in terms of like.
Actually, it was underneath a company that I was a part of that I created to build underwater web cameras. If you ever heard of the SEAL Cam down at Fisherman's Wharf?
I believe I
was a part of putting that down in tandem with Eagle Wing Tours. And
cool.
Yeah, so I used those cameras, and it was part of the company, so I was able to move things in and out.
There you go. Yeah. Move and spread the cost too that way.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to this next thing which is related to, I guess, your thesis. You have your own non-for-profit organization known as the Fisheye Project?
Yes.
Yeah, can you just tell me a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. So I'm the co-founder of the Fisheye Project, and Maeva Gauthier, she's the other co-founder. Basically, Maeva and I met about 5 years ago when we were both working on a video for the Venus Project, which is part of the Ocean Networks Canada network.
Oh, yeah.
And from just kind of that meeting and that chance meeting, it just grew into a whole lot of ideas about how can we share our experiences with the ocean, especially being a recent diver at the time, and Maeva as well. We just built up this whole way of communicating underwater to the surface. That's how it started. I was using a GoPro camera and a plumbing cap.
Wow.
Yes.
Very basic, and now it's...
And then got my hands on a full-face intercom mask. Aqualung had basically kind of helped us out a little bit there and just lent it to us for the time being, and we just slowly been building it up. But we've been increasing our message, which is basically trying to reach people anywhere and everywhere in the world through edutainment. We want to show you the ocean, get excited about it, check out what's there, see the unseen.
Well, it's always cool to see how something starts at its grassroots, and now it's slowly building up, because I know now you're starting to get involved with IMAX, for example. Yeah, just tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So what's been happening is we've been doing some preliminary tests in the IMAX space, and in IMAX Victoria, actually.
Okay.
So they've been really generous in supporting us to actually going in and doing some of these tests to work out all the kinks. So basically what we're working on is a way that you can be in the theater and you can actually see, hear, and talk to the diver while they're anywhere in the world underwater.
Wow. So you'll be able to do that in an IMAX theater?
Yes. So with surround sound and watching something like the red rock crab the size of a school bus running at you on the screen.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Oh, that's incredible. So are there going to be any opportunities to see this anytime in the near future?
So what we're doing is we're going down to San Francisco on August 9th, well, actually to present on August 9th, so beginning of September. And we're going to be presenting in front of the IMAX entity and all the partners and affiliates and every major producer that goes to the Giant Screen Cinema Association Conference. Oh. It's a mouthful. What's really neat about this opportunity is that we're literally pushing to get this into IMAX theaters coming into the fall. So we could start doing live broadcasts, tying it in with education and curriculum. So we would actually be providing pre-curriculum packages for schools before they come in. Then you get the actual in-theater experience. Then you come out with post. So we're trying to do a whole integration.
I just think about that. Back when I was a kid and we would do field trips to the IMAX. Now having that extra bit of interaction where you can actually talk to the people on the screen, like that in itself is just... It's kind of blowing my mind right now. It's really amazing. It's going to be amazing for the kids that would be that would have that opportunity to be doing that. So
big kids and small. It's when you see it, like when we were doing some of our tests and we put it up, like
that's
you have to see it to
incredible.
believe it. It's one of those experiences you just sit there and you're in awe. It's so huge. You feel like you're diving. You're actually there. You're underwater. It's so massive.
That was the amazing thing about IMAX, because back in the day, I remember I saw Ring of Fire when as a kid.
Did you see Grand Canyon as well?
Yeah, and you know how you felt, and just that vertigo feeling that you had, through that large screen, and just the way the camera moved, and that's incredible just to have that, really, but now it's an interactive
It's interactive. It changes that whole cinematic experience from the tradition of being an observer to now you're a participant.
Wow.
You don't have to, but you can. It creates this different dynamic flow, and that space no longer is a stagnant space. You can move in there.
Absolutely.
So that's basically what we're playing with is different ideas, and it's moving ahead pretty fast.
Yeah.
So we're having a lot of fun doing it. Let's put it that way.
So would you would be able to have this broadcast, I guess, at multiple IMAX at a time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can actually tether multiple IMAXs off of the same broadcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you could have like an IMAX in Victoria, an IMAX in Toronto, IMAX in London, England.
Yep.
You're all tuned into this.
Totally. Yep.
Wow.
And then the neat thing, too, is that we can also webcast. So, if you're in another major center or space, we can actually provide you a webcast, which is about 30 seconds delayed. You won't have the same level of interaction, but you get it in high def, and you basically can have that all over. Anybody can access that.
Oh, that's...
on any device, any place in the world.
Like I said, that would be great, for everybody that has an interest in oceans. And
totally, and you can be on the chat forum too, because we actually we also take questions, and we have a whole bunch of people on the back end through social media, so Twitter, Facebook, even on the YouTube channel that we have a lot of questions that flood in, and we also have a social media response team that answers them, and that can also, it just facilitates a really neat conversation. So if you're an ocean enthusiast, you can also participate in that conversation. It's not limited, so
great.
Yeah.
Okay, lastly, I'll just ask this question. And I was looking at the Fisheye Project website, and you guys talk about ocean literacy. Can you just explain just briefly what ocean literacy is? And
Absolutely. So ocean literacy is really about understanding our connections and our interrelated connection and relationship to the ocean, and to nature. It's the ocean does a lot. It regulates our climate, our weather. There's so much more. It's a food source. There's economics that are built into it, culture, identity, history. We are so interconnected with our marine environment as well as our terrestrial, and a terrestrial with the marine, that we need to understand those connections a lot more.
For sure.
We need to be building up more of those conversations, but through interactive means, more entertaining and engaging ways. So that's basically what we're trying to promote and what we're trying to build.
Great. Well, thank you for being my first guest ever on this show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. So lastly, if people want to get involved or find more information, where can they get it?
So if they check us out on fisheyeproject.org, we're also on Twitter at fisheyeproject. Basically, we would encourage lots of people to reach out with any ideas they have on dive sites they would like us to cover, because we can also highlight really amazing marine spaces and marine research groups that are out there doing awesome things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great.
Definitely.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Great. Thank you.